if any, where is the role of having a 30 cal, or these days having something in 6.5 Creedmoor or any of the whiz bang ones? Where does that fit in? Is that even necessary anymore? If you can throw in let's say you've got somebody who's like me and they're a shooting enthusiast and just has the gamut from red dots to mid-range scopes, all in 5.56 and various things. Like, is that enough? Like, do you need to go up to that 30 cal?
I'm gonna jump in on this one. So I've gone out every year. I try to make it a point to go out to Nevada and shoot with Dimitri, and Bruce usually comes out there with me. And when we shoot out there, we're typically just taking our 5.56 16-inch rifles, and I'm telling you guys, we're hitting man-sized silhouette targets out to 600-700 meters reliably with 5.56. So it's like, how much further do you need to go? Now, I understand that there's like, it would be ideal to have, that 30 caliber round, but when push comes to shove, is it necessary? Because I'd almost be inclined to say, well, it's probably more important that we have that ammunition compatibility with everybody so that we can spread load ammunition as necessary. And then I would add one more weapon system onto what Les said, and that is, even if it's a carbine, just a weapon that is tasked with that automatic rifleman role, right? What could that be? That could be a 40-round magazine. That could be a 100-round snail drum. And he's got a bipod attached. And his task is, hey, you are covering these main avenues of likely enemy approach. Like, you are filling this automatic rifleman role. And I'm telling you, these guys on the receiving end of that, even if it's just a regular USGI standard trigger, right? If that dude is putting down consistent semi-automatic rapid fire, the person on the receiving end is not going to tell. Is probably not even going to tell the difference that it's a freaking semi-automatic as opposed to an automatic.
Exactly.
Agreed on all points. I will say this though, Matt. When you talk heavy caliber, people are smart, right? It's what I'm saying is, if you've got marauders that are doing smash and grabs from whole entire communities, right, and using violence to as a means of coercion, you will give me this or I'll shoot 6 of you and take it anyway. So if that's what you've got, they've got to find some form of mobility. And I would have to assume that's going to be vehicles of some kind or another, right? They need the mobility, one, not only because they're using this violence to get stuff, but now they have to haul it away. And you've got to do that quickly or your victim catches up with you and just, beats you and takes it back, right? So mobility. When you talk about a heavier caliber, I'm with these guys. Look, 5.56 or 7.62 by 39 rule. I'm a big fan of 5.56. 7.62 by 39 is a very viable caliber. But you want everybody in your neighborhood to have that as much as possible, or maybe even both. But when you have people coming up in cars and vehicles and stuff like that, the one thing, it's not what people think. Like, oh, I'm going to get my 6.5 Creedmoor and I'm going to take a 1,200 meter shot. You don't need to. There's very, very few places where you're going to do that. But now if I'm engaging marauders with vehicles, I want to punch through that vehicle. And now that starts to have a role, whatever that is. Well, that's a 338 Lapua, 50 BMG. I mean, whatever it is, the more penetration in that case. But here again, what's really fascinating is not only are we identifying weapon systems and roles of the militia group, but you're also now beginning to talk about specified targets. And I think this is what we're trying to impress upon people, is that the squad automatic rifle, regardless of whether it's full auto or semi-auto or any variant there in between, it has a role, a function. It has primary targets and secondary and tertiary targets. And same with a heavy weapon, same with a heavy rifle.